Is it real? Is it mental? Is it external? Is it internal? Is it just a figment of my imagination? Hey everybody, Graz here from the GKBC. You're not going to see the pirate this time, as you probably already know. Did something a little different. Maybe to give this book its due. So just know that there will be minor spoilers as we go forward. This is book 6 of my 12-12-12 challenge for January. And I will be doing a book review for The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. And, I mean, let's just admire this gorgeous copy that I have. This is the Penguin Horror copy. Is it not gorgeous? It's beautiful. It has an introduction by Guillermo del Toro, which is pretty cool. And I mean, I don't know if I can get that for you, but it shimmers in spots. It's so amazing. And the cover artwork and design is by Paul Buckley, which is, I mean, well done, sir. Well done. Yeah, this is a beautiful book. Well, anyway, let's let me give you the numbers of this book. Like I said, this is book number 6 of my 12-12-12 challenge. This was for ghosts. I'm guessing this is one of the more famous ghost stories of all time. Most people who like horror have seen the movie from 1999 with Liam Neeson and Lily Taylor, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I think one of the Wilsons. I think the dumb one. Inside joke there. Maybe he's dumber. I don't know. But there's a TV show, I think, about this either coming out or has recently come out or something. And I heard, and so I might want to look into that. Because, I mean, this was just an okay book for me. But the TV, but usually in adaptations they can make it really, really, really terrifying. So, oh, and by the way, this copy, look at those black edges. It's such a beautiful book. The only thing that could have made this better is if they were deckled. But they're still pretty cool. They look almost dusty. It's amazing. Okay, the numbers. This was originally published in 1959. This is the Penguin Horror version, which was released in 2013. This copy is 235 pages. On Goodreads, it has a 3.83 overall rating, so slightly above average. And that is across 247,736 ratings and 23,475 reviews. So this book is very... There's not much else that can be said about this book, you know, so I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel here. I'm just going to tell you my likes, my dislikes. At the end, I'll tell you my rating. And move on. So, my dislikes. Now, I've only got 4 of each. Because, honestly, for what this book is supposed to stand for in the genre, and like in history and stuff of how special it's supposed to be and who wrote it, Shirley Jackson, it's not really a engaging book for me. I don't know. But you know, maybe if you liked it, maybe tell me why in the comments. You know, drop me a comment. I love it when people stop by and visit. You know. But my dislikes. Yeah. Number one, this is overly descriptive of everything. It was almost Dickensian in its descriptions. I mean, I don't need to hear about ceiling borders and wallpaper and everything. I mean, I get when the wallpaper is being written on in blood, you know, and stuff like that, but I mean, my lord, in the book this small, we don't need half of it to be descriptions of things that don't add too much to the atmosphere. Number two, the main character, because there is a main character, is Eleanor. She is far too fixated on her mother, who's been deceased quite a while. I mean, it's like every time somebody wants her to do something fun or maybe break the rules a little bit, when I took care of Mother, and I was like screaming at the book, enough, okay? Enough. It's not like she died yesterday. Shut up about your mother. Shut up about your mother. That was for the doctor. Number three, I'm not sure why for me, but the third part of the book, or the last quarter, kind of went into a weird spot for me. I didn't quite follow it all that close. I was lost. I was very confused. So if you've read this book and you understood it, then please tell me, explain the ending. Okay? And if you don't want to do it right out as a spoiler, then ask for my email and I will give it to you, and you can, you know, or whatever, or even my Goodreads or whatever. I would love to know what I'm missing. And my fourth dislike, I'm sorry. I thought that when Mrs. Montague showed up with Arthur, I thought that they brought absolutely jack shit to this story. Nothing. They showed up and they immediately started making all of the characters that we were used to feel insignificant and minimalizing what they've been doing or not doing, and acting like they were the experts. And I mean, it was just like, okay, just go home. Go home, you old hag, and take your little wannabe with you. Oh, I've checked your rooms. You've been here for a week or 10 days, and now that I've checked your rooms, now I know you're safe, and I'm gonna walk around with my pistol. I mean, are you kidding me, dude? And then, like, there's manifestations, and neither one of these two Nimrods hears it or feels it. So, what exactly are you there for? You're both about useless. I mean, oi, and she just talks over everybody, always interrupting. Oh, man, I hate Mrs. Montague and Arthur. Seriously. And I apologize for the language. I try not to swear on these, but I feel very strongly about those two. So, now let's move into the likes that I like, or that I, you know. The rhetoric between the four main characters when they get going, and they're like telling their fake backstories, and they're just playing off one another. The witty rhetoric is amazing and beautiful, and I could almost read an entire book just about that, or just with that, just with them like having a conversation. I mean, Shirley Jackson, lose the other stuff, write a book with characters just bantering like that, and call it The Conversation, and you've got at least one person, I guarantee, that will buy it. I love it. It's brilliant. Let me see here. Trying to find a good spot that before nah, just read it. I was gonna try and find, I should have marked it a good spot where the rhetoric was going between Theodora and Eleanor. But another thing that I really liked, honestly, the gurgling laughter and voice and the little whispers, and you know, and then all of a sudden it's like a thunderous bang on the door that gave me goosebumps while I was reading it. It was pretty good in that aspect. And it was actually, some of it was really, really terrifying. I mean, the stuff at the end with Eleanor, not so much. But the when they're in their rooms and like the thing, like there's a stealthy, you know, like caress of the doorknob. Something's trying to get in, you know, but can't unless they open the door to it, and it's like gurgling and it's laughter and stuff. Oh man, read that at night and it'll get you. I do like that the true terror, you know, basically when we're scared of what's not there or could possibly be only in our heads, that really spoke to me because it kind of matches what I feel like when I'm alone sometimes. Someday I might do a fun video for you, not for me, where I tell you of the night that I was legitimately haunted by a cardboard cutout of Babe Ruth. And that's kind of like my moment of this book. And my fourth like, until Mrs. Montague and Atha showed up, the blend of the characters was brilliant. And I'm not just talking about the four main characters. I'm talking about Mrs. Dudley, the housekeeper, too. I mean, it's like she's just a. It's almost as if she's not really there. Like she's like a recording, because she just repeats the same thing. I set out dinner at 6. I leave. I pick up dinner. I pick up the dishes in the morning. I set out breakfast. I set out lunch. I do not clean the rooms. I mean, that's all she does. She just repeats that stuff over and over again. She's a trip, I'm telling you. But yeah, so, but then Mrs. Montague and Arthur show up, and they just kind of, they take the dynamic that you've spent 3/4 of this book building and flush it down the toilet. And they make it basically about, you know, them and their professional ways. And you kind of get the idea why in the hell is John Montague married to her? You know? And who is this other guy? So, anyway, that's The Haunting of Hill House. I gave it a 6.33 out of 10. So, on the Goodreads scale, that's like a 3.1. It's not very good. Well, it's right around average for me. Like I said, have you read this book? If so, did you like it? Did you hate it? Can you maybe explain the ending to me? I'm not going to ask if you've read any Shirley Jackson, because most of us read The Lottery in school, and even if you haven't, you've probably read it since then, because it's fabulous. And Now, I will give Shirley Jackson more chances because I know that she's one of the great horror authors. And this wasn't terrible. And I got a neat copy for my shelf. So, but that's The Haunting of Hill House, book number 6 of my 12-12-12 challenge. But yeah, let me know if you read this and if you liked it. And until next time, be gentle, but keep on flipping those pages.